The Skins.
You can start thinking about the clock and picking up some first downs as well. Julius Jones for a gain of 12. All right, CC, you're thinking.
Well, here's a look at the Cowboys' upcoming schedule. They have next week off, an early bye week in week 3. Then they go on the road at Tennessee, at Philadelphia. Home games against Houston and the Giants. And then late in the season, they've got some tough games against Indianapolis, the Giants, Atlanta, Philadelphia. So the second half of that Cowboys schedule fairly unforgiving as well. Let's send it back out to Texas Stadium, where the pitch is to Julius Jones. He gets it across midfield and into Redskins territory. So the Cowboys with the 14-point lead, and a look at the Redskins' upcoming schedule. They'll be at Houston next week, and then a home game against Jacksonville. Division game at New York on October 8th. Out of the division, and their bye week is not until week number 8, so pretty much set right in the middle of the schedule. And now we'll look at the second half of the schedule for the Skins. They go out of the division for Tampa Bay, Carolina, and Atlanta, and New Orleans, and St. Louis. Their final game against the New York Giants. That could have a lot to do with who wins the division. We'll send it back out to Texas Stadium now, where the Cowboys lead it by 2 touchdowns.
Quarterback controversy. And it's in Dallas. And Washington, well, you know, they got Campbell, he's down the line. Now all of a sudden, Bledsoe looks fine. They've got a bye week. He'll start the next game, you know that. But in Washington, they're going to start talking about this. Crazy.
You know, it's just the way that it is. But I really think a big reason why that you saw that Washington didn't decide to come after Drew Bledsoe. If you watch the tape from last week, the Washington cornerbacks without Sean Springs in there just didn't hold up in man coverage. And if you're going to try and go out and blitz, that means man coverage. And I just don't think they thought they would cover Terry Glenn or Terrell Owens down the field.
Meanwhile, the pass is caught by Creighton, so on 3rd and 6, they convert. New set of downs. And of course, Chris, go back and tell us what you think about the Giants-Eagles game today.
I'll be honest with you, I quit watching it. You know, there were a couple other good games that were going on. I flipped over and started watching Carolina, Minnesota, and all of a sudden they told me, well, you know, it's like tied up again. And so I went back and started looking at this thing. But it was amazing. I mean, the Eagles completely dominated this game from beginning to end. I mean, it was 8 sacks of Eli Manning. Donovan McNabb threw for 320 yards and just 3 penalties. Tiki Barber had 17 yards rushing in regulation. You think, oh, there's just absolutely no way. And yet they came back. They started getting conservative in Philadelphia with their offense. And the flip side was Tom Coughlin went to the no huddle, started doing the hurry up. The Eagles couldn't get their substitution in, and the thing just flipped over. It was just one of those remarkable momentum-changing games that happens about once a year in the NFL.
You know, for a guy who tuned out, you sure know a lot about that game.
He sure got caught
I've been reading the newspaper accounts.
Someone sure caught you up on it quickly.
Jones gains 6.
You guys want to talk about it. Go get caught up.
2nd down and 8, 36-yard line. Jones, short side of the field, is going to pick up the first down. So the Cowboys with a flag down now, another flag, and that may be a hold here. Look at the rookie
holding
tight end,
offense number 80.
Yep.
10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
He got engaged.
You know, isn't it something how running as the game progresses and the score widens, running always gets easier? You know, it's you know, tough in the first quarter, a little easier in the second quarter, a little easier in the third quarter. Then you get them in this situation in the fourth quarter, and everyone is a step slower. The defense isn't firing. They're not flying across there the way they were, and that's when you get a lot of your running yard. Now, of course, you have to eliminate the Fasano holder. You don't think Parcells is mad at him?
New Jersey got to catch it. Right. And a tight end from Notre Dame. He's having his Navarro someday.
Well, Bledsoe didn't want to see that. You know, he was coming. He was turned to his left, and then he turned to his right, and right there was Marcus Washington right on him.
2 weeks NFC East, Chris. Your feelings right now about what you've seen in this division?
You know, I really don't know. I really thought the Philadelphia Eagles were turning into the team to beat. You watch them for 3 quarters a day, and they have their offense clicking and their defense with Jim Johnson, and you say, you know, they've got it going again. They have 2 lines on the defensive line, 8 sacks on the day, really bringing a lot of pressure. But it is going to be ultimately one on the defensive side of the ball, probably, between, you know, which of these defenses and which of these defensive lines end up dominating the most.
Meanwhile, there's Barber with a long game, maybe setting up a possible field goal attempt. Chris, you're done for the night, my man. See you next week.
See you next week.
All right, good trip home. Chris Collinsworth.
Now we're going to see what Vanderjagt can do again.
Yeah, well.
Doesn't mean anything, though, does it?
Well, it's going to make it
24 to 10.
A 3-possession game, though. It turns a 2-possession game into a 3-possession game. So it's a 49-yard attempt. Vanderjagt's kick is good.
I think he needed that.
Oh, he did. And so did Parcells, even though he'll never express it. You'll never see an expression indicating some pleasure on Bill's face. 50-yarder, as it turns out, for Vanderjagt. It's a 17-point game.
هل أنت من عشاق كرة القدم الأمريكية؟ إذا كنت كذلك فليلة الخميس هي ليلة ال NFL. بل أفضل من ذلك، شارك في مسابقة NFL Fans Choice الأسبوعية واحصل على جوائز ESPN القيمة. إنها سهلة للغاية، شاهد، شارك واربح. للمزيد من التفاصيل زوروا موقع أوربت على الإنترنت. مع أوربت أنت دائما الفائز كل خميس مع NFL Fans Choice على أوربت ESPN.
Maximum strength. Maximum tradition. Maximum glamour. Maximum excitement. Maximum horsepower. Horse racing now airing on Orbit.
50-yard field goal for Mike Vanderjagt. Earlier from 26 to get the scoring started. Ex-Colt paying his first dividend here. Squeezing into kickoff, and he's jacked up. And Cartwright downs it in the end zone with 7:43 remaining in the 4th quarter. See if Brunell can lead the type of charge that brought them from behind last year. The Lightning strike twice. Doesn't look that way, but who knows?
Athletic. Fast. Competitive. Classy. Welcome to the land of total football. The Dutch League every week on Orbit.
Will has a surprise for her mother.
You talked to your mother about us? Does she know we have sex?
Her mother isn't listening.
She kept setting you up with guys.
Because she's got a surprise of her own.
Baby. Who's the father? She won't say.
Now,
你有没有男朋友啊?
mother and daughter will have to face their fears and find a way
爱的是他。
to find each other.
妈，怎么了? You're beautiful.
Saving Face, now showing on TV Max.
Every day. Every way. Everywhere. Every game. Orbit ESPN, bringing you a world of sports.
هذه
هذه المباراة متوفرة بتعليقين مختلفين. لاختيار صوت التعليق اضغط زر الصوت الترجمة في جهاز التحكم. استخدم أزرار الأسهم الأيسر أو الأيمن وأضئ خيار الصوت الذي ترغب فيه، ثم اضغط على زر اسكيب في جهاز التحكم.
You're watching Sunday Night Football on ESPN. The Dallas Cowboys, about midway through the fourth quarter now, have the 17-point lead over the Washington Redskins. And look at the job in the passing game that Dallas has done. And in total yards, more than doubling Washington, who's got nothing going. Part of it due to penalties, though Dallas has also been flagged many times as well. From the 20-yard line, Brunell nearly intercepted as he threw into coverage again. This was just a very frustrating game so far for Mark Brunell. Aaron Glenn knocking it away there. This is Sunday Night Football on ESPN. Mark Brown with you. As always, Al Michaels and John Madden on the call from Texas Stadium. We'll send it back out there with about 7 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Dallas on top of the Skins by 17.
Who has caught none. And those are their playmakers. They haven't been able to get the ball in their hands. And Burrell is averaging 3.5 yards per pass attempt. And that'll go down a little bit here, too, because Terrence Newman makes the tackle on Bex.
And the thing is, they came into this game and they wanted to be aggressive in the passing game, and they sure haven't been. Now, you can say, you know, that's part of the Redskins, that's part of Mark Brunell, that's part of the offense, but you have to give a lot of credit to this Cowboy defense.
Redskins have 70 yards passing and 117 yards in penalties. Bex takes the hit as he seeks the first down up at the 30-yard line.
What the Cowboy defense is doing, they're taking away the guys that the Redskins want to go to and making them go to guys that they don't want to go to. And if there's anyone you have to get the ball to, you know, and I've been saying this the last 2 quarters, it's Santana Moss, and they haven't done it.
From the 30-yard line, and that's close to another first down up at the 40-yard line. And Washington going without a huddle. Brunell leading him up to the line.
You can see that, you know, Santana Moss is down here and Terrence Newman is on him, and he's done a great job on him right here and right here.
First down and a sack. Greg Ellison flags. Let's see, a flag down behind the quarterback, a flag at the 40, and a flag at the 47. Unofficially, more multiple flags than any game in the history of the NFL.
Multiple flags are like compound sentences.
And they hurt as much.
There is no foul for offensive holding in the backfield as the defender ran through the attempted hold. Illegal contact, defense, number 26, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Greg Ellis, you'll see right here, he says that, you know, he doesn't like playing linebacker position, but, you know, he's not always a linebacker. That time he's a defensive end, and, you know, he'll have a good chance of leading the Cowboys in sacks again this year from this position because, you know, he probably rushes a heck of a lot more than he drops, and passing lines, he's going to be like 80% of the time.
Able to get between a couple of defenders and get the ball into Dallas territory. It'll be a first down at the 36-yard line with 5.5 to play.
Moss is coming out. He got something in his eyes. You know they got that rubber stuff in these fields, and it comes up with it's like tires, it's like little pieces of tire.
He's out for at least one play, and Brunell's going to incomplete. They work on Moss after Moss had caught only his second pass of the game.
And Brunell could do that, you know, by getting outside the tackle box. Then you can throw the ball away as long as you get it at least up to the line of scrimmage.
Still work on Moss. David Patton. The Patriot is in the game.
And he has that rubber in his eye. You know, that little specks of rubber that are in this field. Sometimes when they get tackled, that bounces up into their eye.
Second down and 10. Screen. Checks. Inside the 30. And the twisting move was able to move the chains. He gets the ball to the 25-yard line. Tackled there by Aaron Glenn. Under 5 minutes now to play.
Aaron Glenn in there because he's a third corner, and when the Redskins go to 3 wide receivers, then the Cowboys will want their third corner in there.
From the 25-yard line. Taken in at the 20-yard line. He's able to get out of bounds. Tackled there by Terrence Newman as Moss now comes back into the game.
And this is an area where he's really a threat. I mean, this is, you know, again, we talk about your playmakers and who you have to get the ball to, and you know, and that's what you want. I mean, that's what these guys are paid for.
Second and 5. Moss looks like he's going to fight. And then Betts on the ground. And it'll be third down. It's a pretty good drive, obviously, for Washington. They've done nothing tonight. The only touchdown was the run back, but they're taking a lot of time and they're picking it up in, you know, little pieces and chunks here. It's a 3-possession game. They need a quick strike. Not going to get it here. Kenyon Coleman with a sack.
And they have a tough time getting a quick strike or any kind of strike because they can't pass protect.
Yep.
And then Brunell can't, you know, get rid of the ball, and he can't get it to the playmakers, and all those things that are just being compounded, you know, when you need 3 scores.
And now they're going to take a timeout here. They must convert here. They have any chance. 4th and 7 when we come back.
They're ready to go. Geared up for a photo finish. Racing the track. Battling the clock. Never limiting the challenge. And always challenging the limits. Only those who risk going too far find out just how far they can go. Horse racing now airing on Orbit.
From the writer of Scary Movie,
You're that waitress.
comes the story
You've changed.
of a modern-day romance.
You're officially pimped out. Dad.
He never mentioned you were flat-chested.
that will make you lose your appetite for love.
Watching.
Date Movie, now showing on TV Max.
Don't worry about which came first, the bat or the ball. Just enjoy the game.
Those were the best days of my life. Oh yeah. Those were the best days of
Major League Baseball now airing on Orbit ESPN.
Keep it here on ESPN and check your local listings for your next edition of Sports Center. All the top stories from around the world of sports. All the scores and highlights as well. Right here on the worldwide leader in sports. As for Sunday night football, the Dallas Cowboys have been a dominant performer against the Redskins tonight. Looking to close it out in the final 4 minutes.
Possession game, but nobody could have seen that coming either. Fourth down and 7 at the 22. Jason Hatcher also in there, number 97 as well. And Washington turns it over on down. Dallas up by 17.
Tawash.com is an entertaining website available in 3 languages and offers a variety of services for mobile content via SMS, MMS, and WAP. Unique messages, exceptional tunes, logos, Java games, in addition to wallpaper, animated pictures, themes, and cards. A bouquet of exclusive videos, and many other services, such as chatting, news, and astrology. Tawash.com, the website for your mobile content. Tawash.com, stunning. Tawash.com, amazingly tawashing.
In a world of risks, there are bases to be stolen. In a world of opportunities, there are home runs to be made. Take risks and opportunities with Major League Baseball. Now airing on Orbit ESPN.
Congratulate because Terrence Newman did a great job tonight on Santana Moss. Great job.
And a great job on special teams as well.
He did Roy Williams. I mean, that whole Cowboys secondary did a good. Well, the linebackers did, and the front four did. I mean, you know, they played them that 3-4 on rundowns, and then they went to the 4-man lion pass rush on passing downs with the nickel defense, and the combination of those two things really darn near made the Redskin offense tonight.
It has been, and again, you look at the 10 points. By Rock Cartwright. So the offense has 3 points. They had 16 points last week against Minnesota in a loss. We're going to have a player of the game, and we're going to put him right on the top of the rock at 30 Rock. There it is. Game number 2.
That's a pretty classy deal.
Yeah.
I mean, when a player gets his picture put up there at the top of the rock, you've come a long way when you get up there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
When you go from a horse trailer to the top of the GE building, now that's a quantum leap. Terry Glenn's had a nice night, scored a touchdown, 6 catches for 94 yards. Highlights and interviews, along with the rock star of the game coming up on the postgame show.
Terry Glenn and I are brothers in something. He had the same thing. He was telling me when he was at Ohio State, he couldn't fly. And I didn't know this, but he just told me the other day that he drove to every game. And
when
the
he was
coach
at Ohio State?
Yeah, at Ohio State. I mean, he'd practice on Friday, get in the car, drive to the game because he didn't want to fly.
So what got him through it? I mean, well, he had to start flying when he.
Well, then he got in pro football, and he said, you know, he's better now. He's over it, and you know, I'm at a point now where I don't take counseling and guidance, so I didn't ask him how you did it. But at one point, he and I were in the same place. We stayed in the game.
Gain of 2. I'm not saying we're going to take off, but I want to at least get you in the plane.
I was on a plane. I got on a plane. I had a chartered group came from Oakland for the Hall of Fame, and someone thought it would be a good idea if I would go meet the plane. So I went, and after the plane landed and got set and everything, I went in and said, "Welcome to Canton."
Let me tell you, for people who have to fly a lot, we're all jealous of you. You're way ahead of your time, John. Way ahead. Empire State Building. About, maybe 10 blocks away from the GE Building. NYC. We have to pick our rock star of the game, and we're going to hold that in. Second down, 8. We're not going to touch that. Second down, 8. This is Tyson Thompson. And I'll tell you one thing about the Redskins. I mean, there's going to be a lot of teeth gnashing in Washington right now. They're going to be 0-2. The offense pretty inept. There's going to be a lot of talk about a lot of things there. I know one thing. They go to Houston next week and they lose that game. Then you'll really see some teeth gnashing.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough because they're not very good. They're not very good offensively now. You know, I know not having Clinton Portis is a big part of that, but and not being able to get the ball to your receivers, to your playmakers, that's a waste of time playmakers.
Thompson, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning, which comes officially at the 1:57 mark. It'll be 4th down. Thompson comes up a little gimpy, but this one is in hand for the Dallas Cowboys, who go into their bye week, or will, with a record of 1-1. 27-10 for Jones's team.
This time, there are no winners, only survivors. College football, now airing on Orbit ESPN.
Some things in life you can't control.
It was real, and it was great. It's just goodbye.
Once you hit rock bottom,
I think you should stand up for your incredible work.
there's only one way to go.
I like you.
Me too.
Do you ever just think I'm fooling everybody? I want to learn to cook. I want to learn to laugh.
And love will show you the way. Orlando Bloom, Kirsten Dunst, Alec Baldwin, and Susan Sarandon. A Cameron Crowe film, Elizabethtown, now showing on TV Max.
Bites 2 weeks in a row, and that's about as rough a start as you could ever imagine the Tampa Bay Bucks ever having.
And it's no fun for him, and it's no fun for the one guy we just had a picture of, Joe Gibbs. I know that, as he'll say, this is easy.
Pryor gets the kick away. Goes for the fair catch, and it cannot be saved before it gets into the end zone. That's Jacques Reeves. But it's moot right now because Washington's going to get the ball. They don't have a timeout, and they're down by 17.
Yeah, and they had a short week. They played, Monday night, and then playing again on Sunday on the road, and then they go back and they can, kind of regroup if it's there. I mean, that to me is the question: is it just a pretty good offense that's playing poorly, or is it a bad offense that may never be able to play with these players?
Well, what's your best guess on that, John? What do you think, or a combination?
My best guess is offensively they don't have the right players playing. I don't know that they have the right players.
And that's really gigantic with this team. Christian Fourier makes the catch here.
And that was the thing that, I said before the game, that without a Clinton Portis, Betts isn't going to be Portis. There's no way he's going to be Portis. So it's going to go on Brunell's shoulders. So that's what it is. I mean, that's the reality of it. You don't have your best back to your quarterback.
The stats, but that's all that will do is Chris Cooley, who has not been a part of the action tonight, winds up making a 23-yard reception. First catch for him. Final minute. 31-yard line.
See, Flozell played pretty well. I mean, well, Flozell was Flozell Adams was in Bill Parcells' doghouse and didn't play very well last week, but he played very well tonight.
Bill Parcells has a doghouse?
Dallas.
He got a big old dog that last week fit a lot of guys.
He's got the whole SPCA and always has.
And it's 3 levels.
You know,
it's not just a doghouse with 1 level.
Yeah.
You got your 2nd level and your 3rd level.
You know, through the years, I'm trying to think of anybody who's played for Parcells for any length of time who hasn't been in that doghouse at one point or another. I think he just likes to put you in there once in a while just to remind you there's a doghouse here.
The closest guy, and because he would leave the reservation once in a while, was Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that he was so good, you know, that Bill would like to put him in a doghouse, but I was around him a lot in those years, and I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think he ever did.
You got to know who you're putting in the doghouse, don't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like the old deal. How many players do you hold the bus for? That's the old saying. You know, if you put the great running back, hey, this kid's so good, you'll hold the bus for him. Let's see if Washington can get a cosmetic touchdown at the end of the game, which may mean something to a few people. It just may. I know if people are thinking, you know, they watch us and they say, you know, why does it look so easy now? Why didn't they do what they're doing right now the whole game? Because the defense obviously wasn't, you know, playing like they were the whole game. Well, that's been true tonight, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Santana who? Terrence Newman had a lot to do with that, but so did that Cowboy pass rush. I mean, they were pretty doggone good.
Second and goal from the 7.
Push up the middle from Ferguson.
Second and goal. Got a few hearts beating around his great land of irons, and that was tipped away by Patrick Watkins, the 6'5" safety. 3rd down and goal.
We were talking about Patrick Watkins the other day at practice with Bill Parcells, and he asked me, have you ever seen one like him? You know, like a tall, thin, 6'5" safety. And the only guy that I could think of that was close to him is, remember Merton Hanks from the 49ers, but no one agreed with that one. Michael Down, Steve Atwater.
Watkins has longer legs but a much shorter neck. Brunel. And with a flag, all kinds of, well, that's the way it should have. I mean, we've had nothing but flags all night long. It's going to end, barring a defensive foul.
Holding, offense number 76. The penalty is declined. The game is over.
It's John Johnson, and that's kind of a fitting end.
So that'll do it for Sunday Night Football in week number 2. The Dallas Cowboys, well, they avenged to some degree their season sweep loss at the hands of the Redskins last year, and a pretty impressive victory tonight by a final score of 27-10. The Redskins offense sputtering at best tonight, with Clint Portis unavailable with that shoulder injury and not in uniform tonight. The Redskins offense went nowhere. Well, a reminder tomorrow night, Monday Night Football on ESPN. The Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Both teams won their Week 1 encounters, and now Byron Leftwich and the Jags will host the defending Super Bowl champion Steelers. And 1 week from tonight on Sunday Night Football, the Denver Broncos, fresh off an overtime victory today, will be heading to New England to take on Tom Brady and the Patriots. Check the time if you're in the world. So the Dallas Cowboys get their first victory of the season, and the Redskins fall to 0-2. For our Latin American audience, Sports Center is coming up next for our entire crew. I'm Mark Brown. So long for now. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.
الرياضة على أوربت تزداد روعة وإثارة، إضافة إلى التغطية الرياضية الواسعة والحصرية من خلال قنوات أوربت espn، قناة أهم الرياضات الأمريكية والرياضية، قناة الأحداث الرياضية الإقليمية والعالمية، قناة NBA TV، قناة السلة الأمريكية. انضمت قناة الجزيرة الرياضية بلس 1 وبلس 2 المتميزتان بالتغطية المتنوعة لأفضل الأحداث العالمية إلى شبكة أوربت ضمن باقتي برايم وميجا. أوربت، عالم من الرياضة.